The telecommunication industry in Rwanda is really an interesting one. It's an industry that serves 10 million, just over 10 million Rwandans across the entire country. And this is with obviously voice, data, digital solutions such as mobile money. So the 10 million or just over 10 million Rwandan customers represents roughly over 80% of the overall population. So we're looking at an 80% plus penetration, 60% of which is also active in the use of the internet. The overall contribution of the industry to GDP is roughly about 2% and growing, as you see the industry growing by about 20% every year. So it's a really great and promising market that continues to grow.
And then if you look at the recently launched African Continental Free Trade Area that actually came into effect on the 1st of January 2021, when you look at the telecommunications environment, the digital agenda, how do you see that contributing or catalyzing the African Continental Free Trade Area?
I think there are a lot of opportunities that the free trade area presents, and also opportunities for the telecoms or technology environment to catalyze or enhance that. In essence, what you see the free trade promoting is, in very simple terms, trade and movement, right? And when you look at the trade environment, where technology plays a very active role can be facilitating that, whether it's through Africa-wide e-commerce platforms, but more importantly, these e-commerce platforms being facilitated by solutions such as digital payments, such as mobile money. And what we've seen, for instance, in Rwanda, is a growth of that integration between mobile payments and e-commerce platforms. And I think the fact that we can now go continental presents a whole lot more opportunity, where you could see, for instance, somebody who's putting out a product or service for sale in Rwanda being consumed and bought over in Ghana or Zambia, whatever the case may be, facilitated by things like digital payments. On the movement side, I think what's exciting as well is the fact that through solutions around voice, we've seen it in regions, right? So for instance, in the East African regions, we have free roaming agreements similar to West Africa. But what the Continental Trade Agreement does is that it invites a whole lot more players to come into that space to facilitate communication as much as a trade and movement will be as well.
The recent MTN listing, much excitement around this journey from your perspective. Give me the lowdown.
No, really exciting, something that we've been looking forward to in the market for quite some time. You see, MTN at a group level has always had the intention to increase local participation in our companies across our entire footprint. And Rwanda, I'll have you know, is the third operation out of the whole MTN group to list on a local stock exchange. And the intention for us was really to deepen participation in the capital market, invite a whole lot more Rwandans, local investors to participate in the company. And by so doing, eventually and inevitably, also contributing somewhat to the socio-economic development of Rwanda. So we listed by introduction back on the 4th of May. Really excited to do so, where we floated 20% of the company. But it's a bit of an interesting one because that 20% of the company was previously held by a special purpose vehicle, a company called Crystal Telecoms. And with the dissolution of that company, all the previous shareholders of Crystal Telecoms now become direct shareholders in MTN Rwanda.
Let's also talk now about the future, about innovations that you are embarking on as MTN Rwanda.
I think being in Rwanda as MTN is really, really exciting. Also, given the overall direction and vision of the country, and I know you're speaking to Honorable Minister Paula later, but you should probably let on to items or agenda items that form part of the national strategy for transformation. And we at MTN Rwanda have mirrored what our strategic objectives or intentions are against that. And a big part of that national strategy for transformation is the drive for digital penetration and literacy. And a lot of the solutions and innovations that have come out of this have actually been mirrored to further that agenda item. So I'll give you an example. For instance, one of the key area items in driving digital would be around smartphone penetration. Smartphone penetration in this country is roughly 20%. Of course, a number that is quite low when you look at the rest of the region. But last year, MTN Rwanda came up with the initiative that we called Connect Rwanda, that invited both private and public institutions to come together to put smartphones into the hands of Rwandan people who didn't have any. And over the period, we raised in excess of $1.2 million, and we sought to a lot of people coming into the digital connected world. So that is one aspect as far as smartphone penetration is concerned. But so many other innovative solutions coming out of, for instance, the digital payments environment, where, given by the COVID-19 pandemic as well, a lot of transactions were accelerated. But for us, we saw the opportunity to open up ourselves to integrations with the ecosystem. So now we have an open API where people who are young developers, content creators, irrespective of where you are across the country, can very easily integrate with MTN's mobile money. And we've seen a whole lot of uptake since then. We're seeing a lot of merchant payments today, now boasting a merchant base of over 60,000. So we're really excited at the prospects that digital payments, digital solutions, things like smartphone penetration acceleration initiatives such as Connect Rwanda present for now, but also into the future for Rwanda.
Mitwa Kaemba, Ngambi, thank you so much for your time here on the Nielsen Network. Much appreciated.